Okay. So for create a new, any kind of new discovery stuffs like for the new service or new device in our system, what are the steps we have to follow?
Sorry, Prasi, can you repeat the question?
To create a service, new service, or to create a or to add a new CI in our system. So what are the steps we have to follow in ServiceNow?
Uh, Either we can do it manually or we can import it from discovery. Okay, that's what my knowledge.
And even we can import it from the import sets.
Oh yeah, through Excel sheets or some
Yeah.
files or some yeah.
The CI class is not defined in our system. So what we have to do?
I'm not sure, Prasi.
CI class. What do you mean by CI class at first?
CA class means like Windows, Linux.
Same wise
Network.
you don't have that class. Then
Okay.
what you have to do?
Either we need to create the table and we need to import that one.
We have to create a new table and we have to do what? Identification and this rules and
Reconciliation.
all we have to write. Correct?
IRE rules. Yes, IRE rules.
IRA rules we have to write. And after that, we have to shift to that and we have to complete that job. Right? So then only it will be, first of all, for example, if you have any kind of application services coming in the system, first it will go and sit in the generic application table only. Then you have to create a new service or new table to a new class to it. And then once writing this IRE rules, okay, then it has to go and sit in the exact table actually. Fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, plus.
Okay. Now I'm going to put some interview questions on before you. So because we just have only a few more practical sessions left, but after that, I have to brush up something and then we can move forward. Let me take in this way. There are few scenario based and few questions that is related to the basics of the item. Now, okay, let's have this kind of type of questions. I am a customer. Okay, I'm a customer, and I am a banking related customer. Okay, so my main motto is yes, I want to use the item and the discovery for my system, and I have to discover all the items in my discovery. But especially for the servers, like some financial transacted related service, especially for some of the premium customer service detail and all, I can't provide. Okay. But still, I have to know whether that system is working good and whether I just have some I mean, I don't have any issues. I mean, I should be get notified if the particular server goes down or up. So in this scenario, what type of approach you will be proposing to the clients?
Means we will be not giving the permissions. We will be writing only. We will be seeing the important data and we will be not having the access to other data.
Okay. You don't do that, okay. So what is the approach like? See, since we have to do the discovery, but they don't give any kind of permissions to access the device. So what you will be doing actually in this case? We have to enable the credential list discovery to discover some minimum information about the devices. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. After this, next question, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. So, it's over. You know about mid server and its capability. Okay. What are the two different type of mid servers we have?
Don't know. Sir.
You have seen about this failover and this one, right? The other one. What are those actually?
Oh, failover is part of is it type of mid server or it's
Yeah, we have to set it that type. Either it has to be failover or load balancing mid server.
okay? Yeah.
Now let's go on to the type of troubleshooting you do for the mid server if it is not working. What are the troubleshooting you will be doing actually?
We will be restarting the mid server or
Okay.
I will check the status of the mid server, whether it's down or up, and then restart if needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Status you will be checking, you will be go and start the mid server from the start.sh file or restart it.
Yeah.
This kind of approaches you will be doing. For
Yeah.
example, there are some error messages shown up in the mid server. Where can you find this error messages in the mid server?
Need to check the logs. No?
Okay, logs where? Where you have to check this logs?
The
ECCQ.
agent folder. There's different folders which are there. So for startup, we use one particular folder. For logs, I think we
Yeah,
check
logs,
the logs
wrapper
folder is there.
files.
Wrapper file, correct, right?
Yes, you have to check it over there. That's
Yeah.
the right one. And ECCQ, yes, ECCQ will tell you whether it is running up or down, but to find the exact root cause, you have to go and check the mid server logs file. That is correct. Now, why do we place our mid server within the firewall in the intranet?
Otherwise, firewall will block. No? So, otherwise, if I keep outside the firewall, firewall will block the mid server, right?
Okay, if you keep it inside in the sense, still it will block the outgoing ones from the system.
Okay.
So what is this the methodology and why do we go for mid server in this case? I have explained you in the very long back. I explained you actually this one. Any ideas? Okay, find this answer. Okay. Okay, can you tell me about the discovery? What are the different 4 phases of discovery and what it will be?
Horizontal top-down discovery both. And if
Only
you talk
for
about
we have 4 different. For this vertical, we don't have any. Yeah, go with. In order
horizontal,
what are the 4 different phases we have?
scanning,
Scanning is
identification,
there.
classification, exploration. scanning, identification, classification, identification, exploration. These are the 4 phases.
The first phase is scanning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Can you explain about the scanning phase?
We need to scan the data after connecting with the mid server, scheduling the discovery. Then we'll discover now in the quick discovery after creating the credentials of that particular Windows or Linux server. Then we can go for the scanning phase. A later part, we can able to see the uh, result from the scanning phase within that ECCQ and all those stuff. And identification also the same. It will run one by one, and we'll get the result. Then we can troubleshoot if anything required, or else we can go for the debugging to check. I don't know. You can add me in this a little bit. Process.
Okay. So for example, let's take it this way. In the scanning phase itself, the discovery gets stopped. Okay. And
Okay.
what can be the problem with it can be? What the problem can be?
It can be a problem with the credentials. It's like a result or something. It's ECCQ. Some results it should come. What is that? We'll get some error message in that scanning phase itself. Then we need to resolve that error. It will show that some error message within the credential problem or something. Those things we need to troubleshoot, and we need to keep that as a result. Then Discover will run properly. Still, if it is any problem while running that, then
For example,
Hmm.
you're trying to discover some Windows device,
okay.
but in the scanning phase, there is no error thrown.
Mhm.
But still the scanning doesn't happen. What is the main purpose of scanning actually?
To get the data from the other source.
No.
We are reading the
And-
data, right? We are trying to check the IP address. We are trying to basically,
Yeah, check the IP address and we have to find what type of device it is at first.
yeah,
Right.
basic checks it does. Yeah.
What type of device, whether it is Windows device or Linux device. In some cases, for example, we know it's some other SNMP or some kind of device, but the port is not open or the vision is down. Okay, in that time the port failure will happen. So the scanning will not be get completed. Correct? If something happens, in the sense you have to check whether the port is open and it can able to discover. Otherwise, the scanning will get failure.
Even that port number range which we have given, that's also consideration process.
Yeah, if you give a wrong port number also, then also it won't discover. Correct? But only in
Yeah.
quick discovery alone, you will be giving your port number. But for scheduled and all, you don't give your port numbers. It will automatically pick it up.
Okay.
Now, what happens if it is get failed in the classification phase? What type of issue it can be?
It is not able to identify the device. Basically, the type of hardware, say for example, that categorization is not there. The CI setup is missing somewhere. The master
No.
data setup.
Classification is mainly for what? For the credential at first. First and foremost thing, if the credential fails, the credential doesn't get matched, obviously it will get failed. Many times when we try to test our mid server, even though if you see in the system, everything we are getting that SNC valve, some valve issue we are getting. Correct? Some credential issue is happening over there, even though in the mid server or from the device. What happened in the classification section? Obviously, it will be get failed.
Yes.
Correct?
Credentials.
After that, it won't move. identification will not work at all. So classification is mainly for credential test and credential checks. Okay. So if there is any failure in any of the classification, any of this one, then especially with the credential, it will be get failed in the classification. Okay. So now comes to the point of identification. There are some failures in identification. What can be the issue?
That mandatory fields which are there, and we set certain fields in the table where they're mandatory to be read, right? And we will set,
Identification rules will place that requirement. So based on that, this rule will run, identifying the data. So whatever the rule we have given, based on that it will work. For example, if you give the serial number is mandatory, those data will be popped up for that particular devices. If not, it will not go the result. It will not give the result. So depends upon the CA identification rules. It will identify the data and within the IP range.
If any failure got happen in the pattern, okay, the matching identification rules, then it will be get failed. Two things you have to know about. Because identification will be started with the pattern only.
Yes.
Fine. Now comes to the exploration phase. No exploration phase has been run in our system. Why? Within identification itself, it completes its discovery. It don't even move to the exploration phase. Why?
That might be the error issues of that identification.
There is no error pops up. What can be the scenario? How do the exploration phase get initiated actually at first?
the moment
After all the
What was it?
the moment identification is completed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is like cascading process, right? The first thing get completed, then it will go to the second bucket. Second is completed, it will go to the third.
But think in this way, guys. You have multiple devices, networking devices, okay?
Yeah.
For Windows, there can be some application running in the system. Linux also take it in same way. But for network, there should be another network will make it connected. For switches, routers, and all, what it will happen. It can't check the application dependencies within it, correct? It has to check some other things in the network devices and switches. We can't able to run the same exploration things again and again for the same kind, for different type of devices. We have to run some relevant exploration phases to that. So you have to define this one in some place where the identification should be run, after that where the exploration should be get run. Do you remember the classification table what I showed you? Where the particular pattern has been mapped, and after the identification of this pattern has been done, then you will be having the exploration phase, and therein it was mentioned with the 2 to 3 exploration items over there.
yes, Prasid. After running debugging, it shows that, if I'm correct.
From that table only, the exploration item will be get picked up. For which particular CI table, which identification pattern should run and which exploration pattern should run.
Okay. So in that debugging, if it is showing as failed in red pop-up, what is the meaning of that?
Or no execution has been happened in the sense. First of all, you have to check this table whether there are some exploration phases there for this particular table. Okay.
Okay.
Sometime after pattern, there will be nothing can be they can map. That's the reason. Otherwise, it will be like the pattern itself would get fail and it won't move to the exploration phase. In exploration, it may find something or it may not find it. It will run it. That's it. Okay, because in the Windows device, you may not have any application also. That is also a possibility. For network, there won't be another network router or switches may get connected to it, or it may not connected to it. So like this, it will be get revolving. I mean, it will be get working. Fine.
Okay.
And they may
Yeah.
ask some scenarios what you have worked so far. Especially if you go for any kind of ITOM interview, read some blogs, okay? Like how the NAG use connection, service operation connection, SCCM connection. These kind of things you read in the out of the box, or how do they get connected to the system. So they need some stories. For example, they will check you like whether you have worked in this, because they will check what is the very toughest scenario you have worked and what are the other configuration items you have worked and how do you get configured that to system. For example, some organization are using SCCM and now they want to move to ServiceNow. So for that, these kind of few scenarios you have to be get ready for the interview. Okay, then only they will think like you have some experience and you have worked already within the system.
Okay. Do we get questions here, person? Question and answers, interview questions.
Not much. They will check whether you have worked it over here based on your answer. It's
Okay. What I'm asking is, can we get the question and answers, interview question and answers from your end for us to go for the interviews process and all? It will be helpful for us to go through that before attending the interviews.
concentrate more on SCCM.
Okay.
For Nagios and this thing, I can provide you this, some very good blogs are already available in the system. I can refer you those blogs. You just want to see how the steps working over there for to connect with the connectors and this thing. Other than that, I can refer you some things. Because questions we can't assure, but at least you know how the flow works for this one, that one. Based on that, you can answer few of the question and answer with them.
Actually, Uday used to give interview questions after completing of the course, so I thought it's like the same pattern. That's it. That's okay, Prasid. We have anyhow we'll have a recording. We'll see that. If suppose if we get anything, if we get something like a Word document or something, it will be helpful.
Yeah, I can share it.
Thank you, Prasid.
See, you did not answer that question that the first question you asked, why the mid server has to be after the firewall.
I already told you about the whitelisting and the blacklisting of the items that is moving in and out of the firewall, right?
Yeah.
Previous one thing. To overcome this issue, only we have mid server in that place. Okay.
Okay.
Here we don't want to whitelist or blacklist any kind of CI network devices, because mid server will process the answers only from there to our network, from internet to the from the intranet to the internet. So that's the process. We place it within that firewall. If it is out of firewall, in the sense, the firewall has to whitelist the CIs that we are seeing. So it's a useless one, right? So that's the reason we place it within firewall to get those access. Now I will give you one activity for you all. Okay, the activity is related like one has to go and pick what are the integrations, popular integrations. For example, for discovery, what are the different type of discovery we have within our organization. And for event management, what are the different popular tools we have? And for service mapping, also, what are the popular tools we have? Just check it in the browser and come up with the answer. I will give you just 2 minutes of time for this. Don't search for service mapping, search for discovery and um, reset event management. Within this time, I will get you the some useful blog links and I can share it with you.
Prasik, can you repeat the question, please?
Get me some popular what is it, tools for discovery and for event management. I'm sharing you some links in the chat. Please get it.
Rasi, the one which you shared for SolarWinds integration, right? So
Mm.
there we can see some steps like user adding, user permissions. So all those things, that's for SolarWinds administrator, right? So he has to take care, right?
SolarWinds people will take care of it, okay? It
Okay,
depends on the organization you actually work, okay? For example, when
okay,
we working with the level 5 kind of, for example,
W-
Accenture, this kind
Wipro,
of big
TCS.
shots. Yeah, this big shots, what they will do, they will have a separate team to manage these things. They will
Okay,
create
okay,
these things and they will provide the access with the username, password, and directly we can put this connector information in the service now. But think if
okay,
you're working in CMM level 3, 2, this kind of organization, they don't have such people to work with you. But still, from the client side, there are some people, but they don't know how to connect or they don't know how to act with this. We have to direct
okay.
them. Okay, from ServiceNow, we need this information. You have to give
Yes.
this kind of permission, then only it works from ServiceNow. Like this, you have to explain those guys.
Oh, okay, okay.
In
Understood,
that
understood.
scenario, you have to know what are the things you have to ask them and what are the information you have to get from the people and how they have to work for you. So
Oh, okay.
it depends on the organization you work actually.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. But it's always good to know, like from scratch, like how to configure things, right? So that,
It is always so good to know about other industries or other tools also, which will
yeah.
help you to add some brownie points in your resume.
Okay, okay,
Because what I see from the interviews perspective, like 2 to 3 organization, I can say like Uber and these people and all, they are paying very good for other comparing to any other organization. I have 3
okay,
others because they don't pay as per the US or as per the Indian salary. They have a standard worldwide structure. For
okay.
example, if you have 8 years in a sense, they will pay at least 50 LPA.
Oh, okay, okay,
This is their standard criteria. Yeah, whether you are
okay,
in US or India, they follow a standard criteria.
okay,
So, these people and all, what they do, like, if you have multiple tools, even though if you see their job description, they don't even ask about service. They ask about ServiceNow, AWS, some other monitoring tool, blah, 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 blah. So, if you
okay,
know
okay,
all these things, then you are just like a person who is out of the box or out of the crowd.
okay, okay. Got it.
For Dynatrace, mostly you have to go and search about Dynatrace documents. There are no great documents or blogs compared to Dynatrace blogs or Dynatrace documentation. and you will get some very good amount like Uber, Sternia. There are two
Okay.
to three other organizations. They will pay you very good actually.
Okay.
Even though bonuses and all they are giving. JP
Okay.
Morgan also they will give bonuses, yearly ones.
Okay.
For Dynatrace, please refer Dynatrace, okay, documentation itself. That is more than good than any other blogs or documentation you have. Because if you see, they will give you ServiceNow steps along with it. Can you open the second link what I shared with you? I can even share my screen. For incident configuration management, event integration, okay? For incident, they will tell you where you have to go, what are the setup you have to do. Everything they will be telling you in detail manner.
So, Prasi, in your experience, which is the most widely, I mean, like most used tool for event management, like Nagios or this Dynatrace, or which tool you can see like it's widely used?
Dynatrace for normal organization, like they are like ticketing tool, and they are procuring something. They are providing support for multiple organization. They will use Dynatrace. Banking related CRM,
Okay,
ERM supported people will use Nagios, and even they
Nagios.
will use another one. I don't know,
Skyscom and Skyscope, right?
they will use, but mostly Nagios they will use. Banking sector Nagios, I don't know why they people crazily using this Nagios, but I see
Okay.
Nagios as a main one. And
Mm-hmm.
for this huge configuration item peoples and all, I mean those who are still in the legacies, like they people will stick to the legacy system. These people will use Ivanti.
Okay, okay. I don't know. Okay.
Event is also is kind of an configuration item management only, but still
Okay.
they doesn't even migrate to ServiceNow, but they will use Ivanti like anything.
Okay.
SCCM, you know, any
Yeah,
organization
yeah.
have SCCM, these people.
Correct, correct.
Event management, SCOM also many people using. In Microsoft tool, event management tool, that is actually. SCOM
Yes.
also many people are using. I mean, those who have
Mm-hmm.
SCCM, they will use SCOM. But sadly, many people don't use this agent client collector of ServiceNow.
Okay.
We have also agent even monitoring tool called this agent client collector, but the configuration wise, it is very tough comparing to any other tool actually. That's the reason it is getting failure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Now we have to try whether you can incorporate these things from event management, integration, and this flow you can do. This is for to set up the events. Anybody knows about Azure AD over here? Nook and corners of AD.
No, no.
I don't want any other, just I want to know people, those who are very good at AD with user and group alone.
What do you want in Azure AD, Prasi?
I know there are nested groups in Azure, okay? We don't have those kind of nested groups and all. I have to bring some data from there actually. If you know someone, please refer to me. I'm ready to pay for them, okay? because I want to learn it actually. If people can teach me about AD, then that would be good. Okay. Now we learned about some kind of very popular tools within this one, and we have some good links to know how to connect it with the ServiceNow. Please make sure while going for interview, you see at least this once. This frequently asked question, these things and all. Mostly this will be help you while answering the questions. Like it's especially this kind of thing. Incident or incorrectly, some kind of something is broken, something is not working. These kind of blocks definitely you have to go through. Because from this blocks only, our questions also mostly they will ask how do you solve this issue? How do you solve that issue? How to overcome this problem? These kind of questions only ITOM people mostly will ask. Now, let us start with one thing. Have you all got your PDI actually? Tomorrow, while coming up, just to install event management in everybody's system. We have to do the event management part. Through this documentation itself, we can simply connect it and try to see it up. We can't create some events and all, okay? But still we can see how to connect with our system alone.
Like which tool you want to install, Prasi? For PDI, yes, we have, but for event
PDI,
management.
only event management, and PDI you have to install that plugin. Even
Oh, okay, plugin. Okay, yeah, sure. And like for testing, like is it possible to trigger real-time events? Does they have any like events?
only dummy events we can create.
Okay.
We have to go sleep and come back for this guy actually. There is a Dynatrace plugin for ServiceNow, okay? Just activate it actually. Have you tried with any other system for these discovery or for setting up the cloud virtual agent or something else?
Azure I have created, Prasi, still in progress actually. I need to add on the mid server and I need to try it.
Okay.